So today we are going to start lesson 4, which is about multiplying and dividing rational numbers. Okay. First of all, we have to study the signs rule. Signs rule simply, in case of multiplication or division, if we will multiply or divide two positive numbers, so this means that the result will be positive. And if also there are two negative numbers, then in case of multiplication or division, also it will equal positive numbers. So positive and positive, it will equal positive. Negative and negative, it will equal also positive. But if the two signs are different, like positive divided by or multiplied by negative number, in this case, it will be negative. And also if it's a negative divided by or multiplied by negative number, also it will be a negative. So positive and negative division or multiplication will equal negative. Negative and positive, it will equal negative. So simply, guys, if we will divide or multiply two numbers with the same sign, if the two signs are the same, so this means that the result will be positive. The two numbers are the same, like this one, positive and positive, so it will be positive. Negative and negative, also it will be positive. So two same signs means the result will be positive. But if the two signs are different, like positive and negative or negative and positive, in this case, it will be negative. The result will be negative, okay? So simply, if we are going to multiply 3 times 4, now positive and positive, the two signs are the same, so 12. Negative 3 times the negative 4. Also 2 negative signs, the two signs are the same, also it will be positive 12. Okay? But in case of two different signs, like 3 times negative 4, so simply negative 12, or negative 3 times 4, also it will be negative 12. So if the two signs are the same, like this case, the result will be positive. But if the two signs are different, so the result will be negative. The same exactly on division. Like 6 divided by 2 equal 3. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 also 3. Because the two signs are the same, so the result will be positive. But if I'm going to divide two numbers with different signs, like 6 divided by negative 2, now the result will be negative 3. And if it's a negative 6, but divided by positive 2, so also here two different signs, so this means it will equal the same negative 3. Okay, so in multiplication, if the two signs are the same, on division, if the two signs are the same, the result will be positive, the result will be positive. But if the two signs are different in multiplication or in division, the sign will be negative, and here the sign will be negative. Okay, guys, are we clear till this point? The next point, it's about the multiplication process or the multiplication operation. If we want to multiply two numbers like A over B times another number like C over D, in this case, how to get the result? Simply, guys, in multiplication, we will just multiply the two numerators to get the new numerator, and the two denominators to get the new denominator. So a numerical example like that, 3/4 times 1/5. As we said, 3 times 1, 3, 4 times 5, 20. Is it in the simplest form? Yes. So finished. One more question. If it's 2/3 times 5/7, so it will equal.
Can you repeat the last question?
Okay. Okay. Now this one, it's 2 times 5, it will equal 10. And the 3 times 7, it's 21. Is it in the simplest form? Yes. So finished. The previous one, it was 3/4 times 1/5. So to get the numerator, just to multiply the two numerators, 3 times 1 equals 3. Denominator, two denominators, 4 times 5, it's 20. That's it. One more example with different signs. If it's -3/5 times 2/7. So now I'm multiplying two numbers. One of them is negative and the other one is positive. So the two signs are different. So this means that the result will be negative. Then the normal procedures is 3 times 2 equals 6. 5 times 7, 35. Finished. If the two signs are negative like that, -2/3 times 4/7. In this case, I'm multiplying two numbers with the same sign, so it will be positive, the answer. So now 2 times 4, 8. 3 times 7, 21. So 8/21. And of course, positive, because here, negative and negative. Okay, guys?
Okay.
One more example like this one, 3/6 times 2/5. Now, 3 times 2 equals 6 over 6 times 5 equals 30. Is it in the simplest form? No. So can we simplify it? Of course. How? Divide this number by 6 to equal 1. Divide this number by 6 to equal 5. So now the question finished. Okay?
طب يا مستر مش احنا هنا نقدر نعمل ال6 دي تبقى عشان تبقى هنا نشيل ال6 ونحط معاها دالة بدلها ال1 وال2 نحط بدلها 3.
You mean that we can simplify before multiplication like that? Divide by 2 equal 1, divide by 2 equal 3. Then again, we can simplify 3 with 3 like that. 3 divide 3 equal 1, and the 3 divide 3 equal 1. Now it becomes 1 times 1, which is equal 1, and 1 times 5, which is equal 5. We have the two options. We can simplify before multiplication or after multiplication. No difference. Okay? Okay, great. One more example, guys, like that. -3/4 times 2/9. Now, I can simplify before multiplication like this. 3 and 9. I can divide the two numbers by 3. Divide 3 equal 1. Divide 3 equal 3. Then what about the two numbers? 4 and 2. We can simplify them by dividing the two numbers by 2. By 2 equal 1. By 2 equal 2. Now, multiply. 1 times 1, it's 1. Over 2 times 3, it's 6. Don't forget the negative sign. So -1 over 6. One more question. If I want to multiply a fraction like 2/4 by a whole number like -2. So of course, this -2 is a -2/1. Any whole number is over 1. So now, multiply or otherwise simplify first. So simply we can simplify 2 and 4. Divide 2 equal 1, divide 2 equal 2. Now 1 times 2 equal -2 over 2 times 1 equal 2. So now -2 divide 2. I'm dividing two numbers with different signs, so it will be negative. And 2 divide 2, of course, 1.
-1.
Exactly. Very good. So it will equal -1. The next question is how to multiply two mixed numbers. It's very easy, really. If it's like that, -4 and 2/7 times -3 and 1/6. Okay, so this means, first of all, I have to convert the mixed number into improper fraction. 7 times 4, it's 28. Plus 2, 30/7, and it's a negative. Don't forget the sign. Times 6 times 3, 18, plus 1, 19/6. And also it's a negative. Don't forget the sign. Now, guys, simplify. I can divide this number and this number by 6. Divide 6 equal 1, divide 6 equal 5. So now I'm going to multiply negative, don't forget the sign, -5 times a -19. So a negative times a negative, two same signs. So the result will be positive. 5 times a 19 actually equal 95. And 7 times 1, it's a 7. So 95/7. One more question on the mixed number. -4 and 1/2 times -5 and over 9. Okay. So whenever you see a mixed number, directly convert it into improper fraction. So 2 times 4, 8, plus 1, 9/2, and that's a negative, times -5/9. Okay, simplify. Divide 9 equal 1, divide 9 equal 1. 1 times 5, 2 times 1, negative times a negative, positive. 1 times 5 equal, of course, 5. 2 times 1 equal 2. So it will equal +5/2. Because here, the two signs are the same. Two negative numbers. So the result will be positive. Okay, guys? Do we have any questions? Okay, great. Let's continue to the next point. The next point is about the properties of the multiplication. The first property is the closure property. Do you still remember the closure property? In addition, we said that a rational number plus a rational number will equal a rational number. So here it's a multiplication. So only one word will be different. Rational number multiplied by a rational number will equal a rational number. That's it. So the product of any two rational numbers is a rational number. That's it. So that the product, again, of any two rational numbers equal a rational number. Okay? Therefore, the rational numbers are closed under multiplication process. Okay, then the second property, it was like on addition, commutative. Commutative means what? Means A times B equal B times A, nothing more. 1/2 times 3/5 equal 3/5 times 1/2. The same result here, 3/10. Here also 3/10. That was the commutative property. Okay?
Okay.
The third one, it's the associative property. Like addition exactly, guys. If there's three numbers, A times B times C, I can write it in this form, A times B times C, or B times A times C, or C times A times B, like that. No difference. Like what? Like 1 over 2 times 2 over 3 times 5 over 7, for example. In this case, if I'm going to multiply these numbers, it will equal 1 times 2 equal 2 times 5 means 10 over 2 times 3 equals 6 times 7, it's 42. Okay, it will be the same like that one, 2 over 3 times, then group the next two numbers, 1 over 2 times 5 over 7. Also, it will equal 2 over 3 times 1 times 5, it's 5. 2 times 7, it's 14. Now, 2 times 5, it's 10. 3 times 14, it's 42. The same result. Correct?
معلش يا مستر انت بتعيد تاني؟
correct.
Again, the associative property, guys. Simply A times B times C. It's the same like A times, between two brackets, B times C. Or otherwise, B times A times C. Nothing will change if I will replace the location of the number. Like what? Like 2 times, I will give a very simple example. 2 times 3 times 4. This one actually equal 24. It's the same like 3 times 2 times 4. It's a 3 times 8, 24, correct? It's also 4 times, and then between the two brackets, 2 times 3, nothing will change. 4 times 6, 24. Nothing to change, guys, right? Then,
Right.
okay, the next property, actually, it's about the multiplicative identity. Or multiplicative neutral. So of course, it's the number which if we will multiply it by any other number, it will equal the same number.
1.
Like what? It's 1, of course. Like 5 over 7 times the multiplicative neutral or multiplicative identity. 1 equal 5 over 7. So if there is a question like that, 3 over 2 times a number equal 3 over 2. So multiplicative neutral, 1, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, great. The next property, it's about the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse, guys, for any number means we will flip the number. What do you mean by that? I mean to that if the number is 2 over 3, so the multiplicative inverse will be 3 over 2. If it's a negative 1 over 7, so it will be negative 7 over 1. If it's negative 3 over 2, so it will be negative 2 over 3. I will never change the sign like additive inverse. Additive inverse, just to change the sign. Multiplicative inverse, flip the number. So this means change the denominator to be numerator and the numerator to be denominator. Like 2 over 3, make it 3 over 2. 1 over 7, 7 over 1. 2 over 5, 5 over 2. One important point. The product of the number and its multiplicative inverse equals 1. Check that. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6, so it's 1. Negative 1 times a negative 7, it's a 7 over 1. 7 times 7, 1 equal 7 equal 1. Negative 3 times a negative 2 equals 6 over 2 times a 3 equals 6, so it's 1. 2 times 5, 10 over 2 times 5, 10, also equal 1. So the product of the number and its multiplicative inverse equal 1.
يا مستر طيب المالتيبليكيتيف انفرس يا مستر لما يجي عايز مثلا مالتيبليكيتيف انفرس بتاعت 1 over 7 هخليها له نيجاتيف 1 over 7 ولا اخليها له 7
No,
over 1
no, it's a 7 over 1.
تعالى
Never change the sign. Okay? Never change the sign. Only flip the number. Okay. If I want to get the multiplicative inverse of 1, so this means it's 1. Because 1 is 1 over 1, and the multiplicative inverse will be 1 over 1. So the multiplicative inverse of 1 is 1. And then number times additive multiplicative inverse, of course, it's 1 over 1, which is equal 1. If it's a negative 1, so the multiplicative inverse also will be negative 1. Because this one is negative 1 over 1, then the multiplicative inverse also will be negative 1 over 1. And the product will equal 1. But now, do you think that
يا
0
مستر انا اللي ظاهر عندي حضرتك عامل 1 المالتيبليكيتيف انفرس بتاعت ال1 هي ال1 حضرتك كنت بتقول لو عايز المالتيبليكيتيف انفرس بتاعت النيجاتيف 1 هتبقى نيجاتيف 1 نفسي.
Exactly. The multiplicative inverse of 1 is 1. Negative 1, also negative 1. Okay? Because
Okay.
1 here is 1 over 1. If you will flip the number, it will still 1 over 1, which means 1, right? So the multiplicative inverse of 1 is 1. And of negative 1, also it's a negative 1. But guys, do you think that there is a multiplicative inverse for 0?
No.
Of course, no. Because we said that
No.
the product of the number and its multiplicative inverse equal 1. So this means if there is a number, we can multiply it by 0 so that it will equal 1. No, never. Right? So 0 is the only number that has no multiplicative inverse. So if there is a question like that, a number which has no multiplicative inverse, then equal dots. So 0. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And also because 0 actually it's 0 over 1. If you are going to flip this number, it will become 1 over 0. Dividing by 0 is not defined. That's why also 0 has no multiplicative inverse. Okay, guys, are we clear to this point?
Okay.
Okay, great. So the last property about the multiplication, it's about the distribution of multiplication over addition and subtraction. What do you mean by that? I mean to that if there's a number like that, a times brackets b plus c, so simply this means this a is multiplying by b and then multiplied by c. So this means it will equal a times b, which is ab, then a
مستر ده
times
distributive property صح؟
exactly, yes. So a times c equal ac, and there is a plus or positive sign, so it will be like that. So in this case, guys, if there is a times b plus c, simply multiply this one by this one and then by this one. So ab plus ac. It will be the same exactly if it's like this. A times b minus c, nothing will different. Only the sign. A times b, ab, the minus, because here minus, then a times c, ac.
طب يا مستر ما ممكن نعمل مثلا البي ماينس سي بعديها نعمل اي دي ملتبلاي الناتج اللي طلع من البي.
Of course, actually, that's correct. Okay, but in some cases, here will be variables like that. Can you subtract b minus c? Of course, no. So you have to solve it this way, right? I mean to that if it's like this, 5 times a minus 7, how can you get the value of a minus 7? Of course, no. So this means 5 times a, which is 5a, minus 5 times 7, it's a 35. Correct?
يعني يا مستر طريقتي ما تنفعش.
Correct, 100%. In case only if there's a numbers like that, 5 times 7 minus 2. So in this case, the two methods are correct. Your method is to get the result from that
يا مستر
subtraction.
ما هو ده اللي انا قصدي عليه، يعني قصدي البي
Not
مثلا
really
مكانها رقم والسي مكانها رقم.
Okay?
مش
So this
مش
is
ده.
correct 100%. But if it's variables like A times B minus C, in this case, it will be AB minus AC. But if this is numbers like that, yes, correct, 100%. Okay? Now
Okay.
let's take some examples, guys. The multiplicative inverse, I want to get the multiplicative inverse of 2 and 1 over 3. Now, we said that whenever you see a mixed number, just convert it into improper fraction. So 3 times 2 equals 6 plus 1. So this number is 7 over 3. So what do you think about the multiplicative inverse? It will be 3 over 7.
3 over 7.
Exactly. Okay, the next question. Negative 2 over 7 times a number equal negative 2 over 7. Multiplicative neutral. A number times
1
another
1 1 يا مستر 1.
number 1, right? Okay, guys?
I didn't understand you.
Again, if we will multiply negative 2 over 7 times a number, then it will equal negative 2 over 7. So we multiply this number by, of
1.
course, multiplicative neutral, which is, of course. Okay, guys, clear?
Yeah.
مستر لو قال لي يا مستر ان 2 هتبقى نيجاتيف برضه 7 هتبقى نيجاتيف عادي.
If it's 2 negative like that and the 7 also negative, it's a positive 2 over 7 directly. No need to write negative sign in the two terms because this means it's positive, right?
Yes.
Okay. The next question. Over 9 times x equal 2 over 9. Then 9x will equal what? Now, guys, it's 2 over 9 times this one equals 2 over 9 again. So it means
1
x equal what?
1
1. So 9x will equal
x multiply 1 equal
9x.
multiply 1 equal 9.
Exactly. So this means
Teacher, I have a question.
equal 9 times 1, which is 9.
Teacher,
Okay. Now the next question. If 2 over 5 times x equal negative 3 over 5 times 2 over 5, then x will equal. So it's very simple. 2 over 5 times x equal negative 3 over 5 times 2 over 5. Now the 2 over 5 is here and here. So of course x will equal negative 3 over 5. Correct?
Why?
Because this one is equal to this one. So x have to equal 3 over 5. Like that, if 2 over 3, or I will make it like this, 2 times z equals 7 times 2. So now 2 times z equals 7 times 2. So this is 2, this one is 2. So z equals 7, of course, right?
okay.
It's the same here. 2 over 5 times x equal negative 3 over 5 times 2 over 5. So 2 over 5 is here, and 2 over 5 is here. So x will equal negative 3 over 5. Correct, guys?
Yeah.
The next question, if it's 1 over 3 times 2 minus 2 over 3, it will equal 1 over 3 times 2 minus 1 over 3 times dots. Okay, so it's a very simple. Here, 1 over 3 times 2, this one,
2 over
then
3. The answer is
minus 1 over 3 times, of course, this term. So this term or the missing term will be that one, 2 over 3. Okay? Okay, let's continue to the next questions, which is about the distribution property. Use the distribution property to find the value of 5 over 11 times 6 over 7 plus 5 over 11 times 1 over 7. Guys, do you still remember that property? It was A times B plus C. So we said that it will equal AB plus AC. So this means A exists here in this term and in this term.
I know the answer.
Okay,
There's
so
5
now,
over 11 and 5
I know
over
the
11.
answer.
listen,
Mr.
listen,
5
guys,
over 11.
guys,
and
listen,
6
listen,
over 7 plus
listen,
1 over
guys,
7.
listen. So how to solve this question? In this type of questions, we are looking for a common factor between the two terms. So this one is one term, and this one is the second term. Now, find a common element between them. We will find that there is 5 over 11 here, and the 5 over 11 here. So this means it's like that A. So now, write down A, which is 5 over 11, and the brackets. Divide the first term by 5 over 11. So 5 over 11 and 5 over 11. So the remaining term will be 6 over 7 plus. What will be the remaining from the next term? 5 over 11 is already here. So 1 over 7. Then continue. Now it's 5 over 11 times 6 plus 1, 7 over 7. So 5 over 11 times 7 over 7 means 1. So it will equal 5 over 11. Okay? Okay. The next question. 9 over 17 times 21 minus 9 over 17 times 4. What will be the common element here? 9 over 17, then the brackets.
9 over 70.
Okay, so the remaining from the first term will be 21 minus
4.
So 9 over 17 times 21 minus 4, it's a 17. It's a whole number, means over 1. So we can simplify 17 and 17 equal 1 and 1. So it will equal 9 times 1 equal 9 over 1 times 1 equal 1. 9 over 1 means 9. That's it.
Yes.
Okay, one more example. 22 over 25 times 6 over 11 plus 5 over 11 times 22 over 25 minus 22 over 25. Okay, how to solve this one? The first point, I have to check the common element between these terms. How many terms do we have? 1, 2, 3.
أنا مستر 22 over 25 الأخيرة نعملها multiply 1.
So here the common element will be 22. over 25. Now the brackets. What will be the remaining from the first term? 6 over 11 plus from this term 5 over 11 minus from this term 1. Okay? Because actually here the process.
Mister, why is it here -1?
Yes, listen to me. I'm going to explain this point. So concentrate well. Here, guys, actually, I'm dividing this term by 22 over 25. So it will equal 6 over 11. Then divide this term by 22 over 25. So it will equal 5 over 11. Then divide the last term by 22 over 25. It's the same term. 22 over 25 divided by 22 over 25. So it will equal 1. And the minus because there is minus here.
Mister, can't we do the normal way?
But Mister, it will be equal 0.
No, no, we have to solve this type of questions this way. We have to use the distributive property. Okay? So now what will be the next step?
Sir, it will be 0.
We will check. Okay. Now, the next step is to finalize the process between the two brackets. I mean to this one. So 22 over 25 times 6 over 11 plus 5 over 11 means 11 over 11, then minus 1. So 11 over 11 means 1 minus 1. Now 22 over 25. 22, sorry. Over 25 times 1 minus 1, it's 0. So simply it will equal 0. Okay, great. The next question. It's a 7 over 12 times 5 plus 49 over 12 minus 7 over 12 times 11. So there are 3 terms here, this term and this term and this term. Guys, listen carefully. How did I know that there are 3 terms are here? Always, okay, we are separating between the terms by using a plus or minus. So this means, again, from the beginning, there is a question like that. So simply plus, minus. So how many terms? 1, 2, 3. Then look for the common element or the common factor here. Actually, on the first one, there is 7 over 12. And on the last one, 7 over 12. But there is no 7 over 12 on the middle, right? Concentrate very well. 7 over 12 times 5 plus 49 over 12. I'm going to factorize it so that it will become 7 over 12 times 7. It's the same because 49 is 7 times 7, right? So this means it's a 7 over 12 times 7. Then minus the last term, 7 over 12 times 11. Now the 3 terms, there is positive minus here, 1 term, second term, third term. So the common factor here, of course, is 7 over 12. So what will be the remaining from the first term? 5 plus second term, 7 minus last term, 11. So 7 over 12 times 5 plus 7, it's 12 minus 11. So 7 over 12 times 1, which means 7 over 12. That's it. Okay, guys, clear? Okay, great. Now the second part on this lesson, it's about the division operation. So division. Okay.
مستر صوتك بيقطع بس.
Okay, now do you hear me well? Huh? Now is it better? Okay. So the division operation or the division process. If there are two numbers like A over B, and I want to divide it by C over D. So simply, the solution steps is to write the first number again, A over B, then change division into multiplication. So the division process will be multiplication, then flip the next number. It's C over D. Now it will be D over C. That's it. So it becomes a normal multiplication like before. Okay, so A times D means AD over BC. Let's solve a numerical example, okay, so that we can understand this well. If I want to multiply 2 over 3, divide 2 over 3 by 7 over 5.
Teacher, I have a question.
Okay,
Can we multiply like as a scissor? 2 is 5 and 3 was 7, and we have the answer.
it will be the same exactly.
Yes,
Nothing will change because here we said that write down the first term, it's 2 over 3, and then change the division into multiplication, and then flip this number. It was 7 over 5, so it will becomes 5 over 7. So now 2 times 5 equal 10. 3 times 7, it's 21. That's it. Okay?
Mister,
Yes.
that's multiply. We are dividing.
Okay, we said that. Change the division into multiplication, then flip the number. The number was 7 over 5. Now it becomes 5 over 7. Okay?
But
Here-
Mister, why we are changing from divide from
It's the
divide?
process. Yes, it's the process of division. Okay. Now I will show you. If I will ask you a question like that, 8 divided by 2 equals what? So directly you will say that it will equal 4, right? So apply the
Yes.
same rule here. It's 8 divided by 2, which means 8. Change the division into multiplication. Flip the number. It was 2 over 1. Now 1 over 2. So if you will simplify 2 and 8 by dividing the two numbers by 2, so this one is 1 and this one is 4. 4 times 1 equal 4 and 1 times 1 equal 1. So 4 over 1, it will equal 4. Correct? Okay, now let's solve some examples like this one. If I want to divide -2 over 3 divided by 5 over 3. So it will becomes a -2 over 3 because we just said that. Write down the first term and then change the division into multiplication. Flip the number. It was 5 over 3, so it will be 3 over 5. Now, before multiplication, I can simplify 3 and the 3. So now 1 and 1. -2 times 1, -2. 1 times 5, it will equal 5. That's it. So nothing new here, guys. Okay? We will just change the division into multiplication and flip the number. That's it. Nothing more. So one more question. If I want to divide 3 over 7 by -8, actually -8 or any whole number is over 1. So this means that 3 over 7 times -1 over.
السؤال اللي قبل دوت.
Okay, I will
نسأل
repeat
في
it.
السؤال اللي قبل دوت.
Okay, I will. So now multiply these numbers. 3 times -1, it will be -3. 7 times 8, 56. The previous question, it was like this. -2 over 3 divided by 5 over 3. So write down the first number, -2 over 3. Change the division into multiplication. Flip the number. Multiply. Here there's 3 and 3. We can simplify both by dividing the two numbers by 3. So now -2 times 1 equal -2. 1 times 5 equal 5. That's it. Okay, guys, clear?
Clear.
Okay, the
Clear.
next question is 2 and 1 over 5 divided by 5 and 1 over 2. Okay. What will be the new point here? Nothing. We said that whenever you see a mixed number, convert it into improper fraction. So 2 and 1 over 5, 5 times 2 equal 10 plus 1, 11 over 5 divided by 2 times 5, 10 plus 1, 11 over 2. Now write down the first number, 11 over 5. Division into multiplication times 11 over 2, 2 over 11. Simplify. Divide 11 equal 1, divide 11 equal 1. So 1 times 2 equal 2. 5 times 1 equal 5. Finished. Okay? Okay, let's solve one more question. If I want to divide 0.2 by 1 over 5, actually 0.2 means it's 2 over 10, and then divided by 1 over 5. So 2 over 10 times, change the division into multiplication, flip the number, 5 over 1. Simplify, divide 5 equal 1, divide 5 equal 2, 2 times 1 equal 2, 2 times 1 equal 2. So now it will equal 1. That's it. Okay?
مستر انت تعمل ريبيت السؤال تاني.
Again. That's 0.2 divided by 1 over 5. So 0.2 as a decimal number, if I want to convert it into a fraction, it will be 2 over 10, then divided by 1 over 5. Okay? Then now, again, write down the first number, change the division into multiplication, flip the number, then simplify. Divide 5 equal 2, divide 5 equal 1. So now it will equal 2 times 1 equal 2, 2 times 1 equal 2. So 2 over 2 means 1. Correct?
Right.
Okay. The question, guys. The next question actually consists of 2 parts. It's like that. 2 over 7 plus 3 over 7, then divide by 10 over 7. So, in this questions, I have to start with the process between the 2 brackets. So I have to finalize this process first. 2 over 7 plus 3 over 7, the 2 denominators are the same. So simply, I'm going to add the numerators. So 2 plus 3 means 5 over 7, then divided by 10 over 7. Now write down the first number, 5 over 7. Division into multiplication, multiply. Flip the number, 7 over 10. Now simplify the numbers. 5 and 10, divide the 2 numbers by 5. Divide 5 equal 1, divide 5 equal 2. Then 7 and 7, divide 7 equal 1, divide 7 equal 1. So 1 times 1 equal 1 over 1 times 2 equal 2. Done. Okay? Is it clear,
Okay.
guys?
Okay. It's
No.
clear.
Okay, great. One more question. It's 5 over 6 minus 3 over 4 divided by 7 over 12 minus 5 over 9. So in this case, as we said, we have to finalize the process between the 2 brackets first, here and then here, and then finalize the division of the 2 results. So first I have to start with this one. 5 over 6 minus 3 over 4. Unify the 2 denominators. So the easiest way to unify the denominators is to multiply the 2 denominators. So 6 times 4 is 24. Minus, just 1 second, I will try to make it smaller like this. 24 minus the second denominator, also 24. Now, to get the numerators, 5 times 4, it's 20. 6 times 3, it's 18. Then divided by the next bracket. It's 9 and 12. So what will be the denominator? It's the product of 9 and 12. So 9 times 12 equals 108. So the first denominator will be 108 minus the second denominator, also 108. Now get the numerators. 7 times 9 63 minus 12 times 5. Now finalize the process between the two brackets. First two brackets, 20 minus 18, so it will be 2 over 24 divided by 63 minus 60, so it will be 3 over 108. Now, it becomes a very simple question. Now 2 over 24, write it down, the first term. Division into multiplication. Flip the number, 108 over 3. Simplify. Now we can divide 2 by 2 equal 1 and the 24 by 2 equal 12. Okay, so simplify again. We can simplify this 12 and this 108. Divide 12 equal 1, divide 12 equal 9. Now it will equal 1 times 9 equal 9. 1 times 3 equal 3. So 9 over 3 equal 3. That's it. Okay, guys, is it clear? Okay, great. The next question, actually, it's very important. Here is this question. If x equal -1 over 3 and y equal 3 over 4 and z equal -3. Find. The first requirement, y over z. Okay, actually, this is very simple. Y over z will equal, where is y? It's a given in the question, 3 over 4. So 3 over 4. Over z means divided by z. Z is -3. -3 as a whole number, actually, it's over 1. So now 3 over 4, change the division into multiplication, so times, flip the number, so -1 over 3. Now, simplify 3 and 3 to equal 1 and 1. 1 times a -1 equal -1. 4 times 1 equal 4. So y over z will equal -1 over 4. That was the first requirement in the question, and it's very simple. Okay, guys, is it clear?
Yeah.
Clear.
Then where is y and 1 and 1?
1 and 1, which one you mean? This one and this one, you mean? This one? It was multiplied by -1, so it will equal -1. And 4 multiplied by 1, so it will equal 4. Correct? Okay, guys?
Okay.
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 Then concentrate well on the next requirement. The next requirement, we want to get xy over z. So this means first xy, so multiply x and y. Where is x? It's this one. So -1 over 3 times y. It's a 3 over 4. Then divide the product of these two numbers by z, which is -3. So I'll have to write it in this form, the first two numbers, x times y between two brackets, so then divide the result by 3, or -3, I mean. So here, normal multiplication. So first we can simplify 3 and 3, so it will equal 1 and 1. Now 1 times -1 equal -1 over 4 divided by -3. -3, it's over 1, so -1 over 4. Change the division into multiplication, flip the number, 12 equal, negative times a negative means positive. So 1 over 4 times 3, 12. That's it. Clear, guys?
Clear.
Yes, clear.
Okay, great. The last one. The last requirement, guys, it was x over y. minus y over z. Okay. So x over y, where is x? It's this one. So -1 over 3 over y means divided by y. So y is 3 over 4. Minus, don't forget to group this process between two brackets. Then the next fraction, y over z. Y is 3 over 4. Over z means divided by z is -3. And also two brackets. Don't forget that. To make the two processes separately. So now, this one is -1 over 3. Division will be multiplication. Then flip the number. 4 over 3. Also between the two brackets again. Minus 3 over 4.
احنا divided -3.
Which one is -3?
اللي هي 3 over 4
The
divided
last one?
-3.
The last one or yes, okay. The last one. It's a -3. There's negative, but maybe it was very near to the number like that. Okay. So now 3 over 4, then change the division into multiplication. Flip the number. It's a -3 over 1. So -1 over 3. Now finalize the process in each two brackets first. This one, -1 times 4, it's a -4 over 3 times 3. Actually, it's 9 minus. Here we can simplify on the next part, 3 and the 3. So it will be 1 and 1. 1 times a -1, it's a -1 over 4 times 1, it's 4. Now the question becomes like that. -4 over 9 minus -1 over 4. Take care. Minus negative, so -4 over 9 plus 1 over 4, correct? Because negative means positive, correct, guys?
Yes.
So now what will be the next step? I'm going to clear the part on the top here so that you can continue. So now we said that it will equal -4 over 9 plus 1 over 4. Okay, normal addition. Unify the two denominators, and the two denominators will be 36, which is 4 times 9. And then plus. Get the numerator, the first numerator, -4 times 4, -16. The second denominator will be 9 times 1, 9. Now, -16 plus 9, -7 over 36. Finished. Okay, guys, is it clear? Okay, great. So actually, that was the last question in this lesson. Hopefully, all of you understood this lesson very well. Okay, guys.